All right, have fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or I need it again.
Mark, can you bring that the thing down, sit down, and it's not covering the screen? Or will the folks on Zoom see that? The people,
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So welcome. Thank you all for being here. I'm Mariah Bruce. I'm with our Workforce and Economic Development Program here at Contra Costa College. And I'm also over our Rising Scholars Program here, myself and my colleague Christina. We are thankful to have the Safe Return Project here, Mr. Marvin Galdamez, to share a presentation with us about trauma healing and community building. So I will turn it over to Marvin.
Thank you, Mariah. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor and a pleasure being here. So, really quickly, I'm just gonna tell you about me, who I am, and then I'll tell you about Safe Return. So my name is Mark. Where's the camera? I want my good angle. Okay. All right.
There's no bad angles here.
So, my name is Marvin Galdamez. I am formerly incarcerated. That means I've been to jail and prison before. I was sentenced to 10 years in California Department of Corrections back in 2005. So my case was 2005. I got convicted in 2009. But now I'm a program coordinator for the Safe Return Project. I'm a former graduate of the Richard Boyd Fellowship. Is a fellowship that we offer at the organization. And I am a recent graduate of San Francisco Community College. So yes, thank you. Yeah, it's a good accomplishment. And I wanted to make the distinction because first of all our staff, 90%, 95% of our staff is formerly incarcerated. I just wanted to make the distinction that a crime, a past criminal history does not define who you are or what you're able to accomplish after incarceration. And I think that's one of the reasons why Mariah was interested in us to come here and share with you guys, because there's a lot of interest in formerly incarcerated students that want to continue their education, and community college is a great way to get back in, to school and start getting on your academic journey that way. There is a lot of barriers to formerly incarcerated students, so that's Mariah. That's another reason why she wanted us here, to be another form of resource support for formerly incarcerated students. When I was first going to City College, there was no support for formerly incarcerated students. And now, thanks to supportive staff and like Mariah and and organizations like ours, there is some support there. It could be growing, it could be better, but that's where it's at. I have a co-facilitator with me today, Antoine Watt. Yeah. Come up here, brother. Introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the presentation.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Antoine Watt. On the Safe Return Project. I'm formerly incarcerated. I've been with Safe Return for about 4 years, 5 years now. I do mentor, I facilitate. Yeah, so it's called facilitating, and I'm here.
All right, so let's get into the presentation. Let's go to the first slide. So that's a nice little picture. Next. Okay, that's me. Next. I told you about me. This is I didn't do this. Our communications manager did that, by the way, for the record. Okay, so
Like I did not want to flat about it.
our mission. So this is the mission of Safe Return Project. Okay, you wanna give me a hand in reading our mission so folks can hear what our mission is? You can see, can you see it?
Yeah, our mission is to end mass incarceration and the mass criminalization of communities of color. And We work to re-enfranchise and bring back community members into society and limit some of the barriers that have been placed over time. And we do that through advocacy and policy work. And by organizing the community to take the steps to change their future.
Yeah, so, so we're community organizers. We advocate for formerly incarcerated. And that includes, of course, our, formerly incarcerated students, that we have a lot of at the different various programs that we have. We also do our own, research. The reason that came about is because, data can be manipulated, and we got tired of, I don't know about you guys, but we kept hearing like, study shows that, people in Richmond everything is fine in Richmond. Nobody needs anything. Everybody's cool. So we're like, who are these people doing the studies? Who is study shows? So we're like, we're gonna do our own, from people from Richmond to community members in Richmond. So with that research and that data, we generate reports. And in those reports, we actually have recommendations on what to do, on how to address certain issues. I have some postcards that I printed out just to give you one. So the front side is gonna be our annual report from last year, like everything that we've done, right? And then the back is actually gonna link directly to one of the reports. And that is the curbing the school to prison pipeline. And I thought that would be good, being that this is for college and college students and stuff like that. So the people that are in here are gonna get one of these. Folks on Zoom, I'm sure there's gonna be a way to hook them up with that. So
Yes.
so that's how we do. And then our next slide. Our vision. Can you, Caroline, read our vision?
Our vision as an organization is to empower and increase the visibility of all those who have been impacted by the criminal legal system as a whole. We are invested in building a base of power at the political, social, and economic level for formerly incarcerated persons across the state of California, addressing the root cause of poverty and the impact that the criminal legal system has had on Black people and communities of color. This kind of collective power will drive larger political strategies by the formerly incarcerated at the state and national level, and will increase mobilization to fight for the rights and opportunities for people coming home from incarceration.
Yep. So that, of course, applies to all of our formerly incarcerated community and the formerly incarcerated students. So thing about it is this. Myself, Antoine, a lot of the safe return staff has been directly impacted by the injustice system. But there's a lot of folks that are navigating in our neighborhoods, in our communities, our colleges, that have been indirectly impacted. And that's when you didn't get locked up or get in quote unquote trouble and all that, but your friends did, your parent did, and stuff like that. So this applies to all of us, and even I would say for educators to understand a lot of their community, if they're not from this community, to understand the students that you're dealing with. So you may not even have formerly incarcerated students, but in your classrooms, but they are definitely impacted. I would say a majority of them have been impacted. So
1 in 5 people in California
yes.
have been directly
Yep.
impacted in some way.
1 in 5. So yeah, we account for 22% of the world, of the world's incarcerated population. So we are locking people away and throwing away the key. And what's impactful is that we're doing it to our kids, and they're doing it young. So in the report, we highlight how many of the Black and brown youth get incarcerated versus, more affluent and white youth. We believe that's purposefully done because once you tag someone with that, with that burden, they're gonna carry it for life. That stigma is gonna follow them. What that young person was charged with, which, by the way, is generally a decision that was made by their affluent counterparts or white counterparts, same decisions. One gets to get educated and reformed. The other one gets a lifetime of dealing with a criminal record that follows them all the way through. And a lot of the communities have been impacted. So those kids are making decisions based on anger, fear, and pain. And when they go to school, that's where a lot of the anxiety gets put more into youth, because I remember, I'll give you my own experience. When I was growing up, my 6th, 7th grade teacher, 8th grade teacher, they used to tell me and my friends, just because we were Hispanic and we hung around together, that we were gonna live a short life because we were in gangs. We're looking at each other like, we're in a gang. We're in a gang. We're not in a gang. We were just hanging out as friends. But our teacher were telling, my teacher told me at 13 that I was gonna live a short life. Shout out Miss Harkins, because here I am, 45 years later, I'm still here, going strong. A lot of times hearing from teachers that we're not smart enough. We are the problem. We talk too much. They always find the Hispanic or the Black kid in the class. You talk too much. You're disruptive. Go to the principal's office. So I had a regular seat at the principal's office. It was like me and another Black student, Mike, and you know, so yeah, so we're trying to, with our vision, break all of those stigmas, break all of those injustices that happen to our community, especially our youth and in education. Education is the great equalizer. We're trying to make it equal. Next slide, please. Okay, so all the things that we achieve through our community organizing, we are not a direct-to-service provider. So what that means is, like, our organization doesn't have, like, you know, an open office that people can come in and they get their, you know, a social worker or a case manager or anything like that. That would be like a direct service provider. We do everything that affects us collectively. So when we advocate for policy, the reports we also use, the ones that we write, we also use that when we go advocate for legislative visits in at the city council meetings. Last night, we had two of the organizers, Pedro and Devin, speak at the city council meeting, to have police be more transparent when it comes to complaints of abuse from them. Richmond didn't have, they had like a 30-day or 90-day period where if someone, for someone to file a complaint against an officer, no other city in the Bay Area had that. No one. For example, San Francisco don't even got a time limit. You could file, you know, because we understand, like, our communities have been through so much trauma that their abuse is normal to us. Them violating our rights every day, it's just normal to us. And it takes a little bit of time, or someone like a Safe Return or Mariah, you know, staff at CCC to be like, hey, that's not right. Your rights were violated, you were abused. So guess what? That takes longer than 90 days. So we were at the city council meeting advocating for that, and it passed unanimously, by the way. So we use those reports to advocate there when we go to the legislative visits in Sacramento, and they're like, well, study shows that, you know, everything's good in Richmond. We're like, we got the data from the people from our community. We've also been in Washington advocating for our formerly incarcerated, and even the Geneva Convention. Our executive director was invited and spoke at the Geneva Convention. Most recently, Judge Tiger came into our office, our little humble office in Richmond on McDonald Avenue. If you're not familiar with Judge Tiger, you just don't know, because Judge Tiger is a court appointed, Obama administration, Obama appointed federal judge, who is the quote unquote radical judge that keeps fighting our current president. So he started the first time, he blocked him when he tried to do the immigration, deny asylum for the Haitian and other immigrant communities. He blocked him the first time, blocked them the second time. He implemented he oversees the medical care in the California prison system. And he is actually the judge in Antoine's case. When he heard the transformation that Antoine had made from, being formerly incarcerated and this and that, to now being a staff member at Safe Return and all the good work that he's involved with, he personally wanted to come. This rock star of a judge wanted to come to our office. And we hosted him and, it was a great experience, and Antoine can speak more on it later if you'd like. But, so yeah, and these are the programs that we do offer. They're very small, they're very, for example, Richard Boyd Fellowship, there is a rigorous process to get in. When I say rigorous, I mean, there's a lot of steps. So you have to apply online, and then we give you a free interview, and then you get called for a panel interview. And then if we feel that you are good for the program, then we invite you to be part of the Richard Boyd Fellowship. It's five persons formerly incarcerated every year. And they get paid per hour. Monday through Thursday, they're in the office. Friday, they get paid their full day to do something productive to move their life forward. For example, if they want to go to college, they want to go to CCC. We say, go see a counselor on Friday. You're going to get your day paid. They don't have a driver's license. They don't, there's a lot of barriers that, our formerly incarcerated people deal with. Go do it on that day. Go see the doctor. Go see the doctor. I had a young man that would come in the office every day with an ice pack on his jaw. And me and his rest of the fellows were like, dude, what's wrong with it? He's like, oh, my tooth hurt. We're like, dude. I'm like, why are you suffering? You get benefits now, right? It's every turn. Go to the dentist. Okay, I'll do it. No, time out. Is everybody okay? We pause the workshop? Yeah. Make your appointment right now. It literally called. He literally called right then and there, scheduled his appointment. He ended up having something where, like, he needed his tooth pulled. He got it fixed, and there was no more suffering. But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think, yes, abscess. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but our community is so traumatized, so used to being in pain, suffering, that it's just normal to us. We'll put some ice, it'll be all right. Meanwhile, he had an abscess. That doesn't even sound right. Abscess on your tooth. So that's the kind of things that it's more than a job, it's more than an opportunity. It's a life-changing experience. We've had several people enroll to Contra Costa College, specifically the Spirit, enroll and graduate. Our last fellowship graduated earlier this summer. One of our graduates, Ricardo, I don't know if you guys might know Ricardo, what's the Ricardo name? Yeah, Ricardo Virus just graduated as well. A couple months, 1 month before he graduated the fellowship, he graduated the Spirit program. And he was so proud, so happy, and so were we. We were happy for him, supportive. He's now working, doing this kind of work. He actually works for a homeless shelter right now. And it's all thanks to community and how, without even knowing, Contra Costa College and Safe Return were already partnered up and working together. Rena is a graduate of the Spirit program as well, and she's now a staff member. That is one of the programs. And then if we go on the slides, we can get into like more details on the. Okay, this is what we want. Who's a good reader right here? We got Joe. Can you see back there? What do we want?
Say safe communities, economic dignity, housing equity, family reunification, reintegration resources, post and pre-release, fair education, formerly incarcerated persons to have a seat at the table of power, changing the dominant negative narratives, ending racial injustice in the criminal justice system.
Okay, I want to ask the folks that are here, is that unreasonable? No, I don't think so. And then I want to ask one more thing. Does all of this impact education? Yeah, I think so. Because when people don't have this, when people are just in survival mode, are they even thinking about going to a college, a community college, a CCC, San Francisco City College? They're not. We're in survival mode. We're in survival mode. You know, we're like at that pyramid, right? Where the bottom is like just survival, you know, we're just trying to survive, trying to stay alive, right? And the higher up you go, is the more, you know, leisure and time you have to be creative and, you know, and go to college and do all these things, right? When we're incarcerated, the pyramid is upside down. You know why? Because we don't got to worry about our housing, our food and all that. So people, including myself, we start thinking about education, college. Man, when I was in prison, I would devour books. I can't even remember a whole book I've read since I came home. But when I was inside, I'm telling you, I read at least 5 books a week. And so we want to make it to when we're out here, the pyramid is still upside down for us. So everything is taken care of. From our mind, body, soul, you know, we don't got to worry about police. We don't got to worry about, you know, being discriminated, being kept away from places just for being us, just for existing. We got to worry about being discriminated, not having dignity, not having housing. And then you add the stigma of being formerly incarcerated. Now you can't even get a place to live. Now people don't want you to go to work, you know? Now, even in the classroom, if somebody finds out, I was so scared when I was at City College that someone would find out and out me that I was formerly incarcerated. Because I didn't know, is my professor gonna treat me differently? Do they think I'm dumb because I've been to jail? And I did have those experiences. And before they outed me, I told the professor, I said, I'm formerly incarcerated, da, 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 da. And I don't know if it's mental. I know it's mental because of all the negative stereotypes in the media and all that. I literally had to work double harder, maybe even 3 times harder than the rest of my fellow students. It was so bad. And I'm not here to talk shit about, I love CCSF, but I just gotta keep it real with you guys so that it may not ever happen at CCC. It was so bad that a group of my fellow students confronted the professor with our tests. And they were like, you marked this right on some of our answers and they're wrong. And you marked Marvin's that were right. You marked them wrong. We don't want these points. And she said, well, okay, you know, because that was months after me complaining. Well, I'll give you that. And I said, Professor, don't give me anything. I want what I earned. So and then I had to take additional classes that my other, you know, fellow students didn't have to take. So you add a stigma, and I noticed another trend. My Black female students, fellow students, had to do the same thing. And they weren't even formally incarcerated. One African-American woman turned around and she showed me her test. And she goes, look. And I said, that you didn't deserve that grade. I know for a fact you didn't get that grade. And she said, I'm leaving. And she left. She transferred. So this is what we fight for in every system. The carceral system, the medical system, and the educational system. So, hello, that's why we're here. Okay. I'm sorry if I ruffle some feathers or trigger people. I'm sorry, but I'm just keeping it real and I'm just sharing my experience. The only way people will know is if we share our own experience. You know, I don't know what somebody else is going through unless they tell me. If I go to the doctor and he's like, well, why are you here? What's wrong with you? Oh no, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to say. He's not going to be able to help me. he's not gonna be able to make a change. So we're at the doctors right now and we're putting it all out there. Okay, the Richard Boyd Fellowship, that's the program I was telling you about, where, it's highly competitive. A lot of people apply. We encourage students to apply because, it's another research, it's another support while they're doing school. Like I said, we have various, students formerly incarcerated that were doing this simultaneously. And I'll give you an example of one. From the cohort was he only on your fellowship? No, okay, so the former fellowship before last year's, one of the students was in the city colleges here in this county, of course. He's a longtime Richmond resident. He is a young man that was, I believe, still in his late teens. 19, might have been 20. And he was an at-risk young man. And he would self-admit, wait, this is not being broadcast 20 law enforcement or anything, right? Okay. So he was self-admitted bipper. If you guys don't know what bipper is, it's like when people would, it was like a trend a couple years ago when people would break in your window and steal from your car and steal your stuff. And he was self-admitted. And he would tell me, like, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm like, bro, you know where that's gonna it's not going to end good for you. So that's where he was at when he came to safe return and struggling with trying to finish school. So because of the support and because of the trauma healing aspect that we shared with him he was able to graduate from the city college over here. And he is now playing football in the state of Arizona for college. So that's the power of community right there. So let's go to the next one. So how we achieve this? Path to empower formerly incarcerated people. It's a 12 months fellowship. So the first 6 months, it's all workshops. The second 6 months is shadowing phase. So if we had fellows here, they literally would be here just watching how it was done, or at least how I do it. And maybe hopefully they would be taking notes. Life coaching. So we provide each young person. Oh, by the way, they don't have to be a young person because we had, like I said, they got to be over 18. So we had still people in their teens. We have all the way people in their 60s, I would say. So there's no limit, but generally focus on impacted younger demographic. So do provide a life coach that meets with the person every week. Self-sufficiency support. So the workshops are various workshops on everything from personal development to economic and and so on and so forth. Focus on trauma healing. So going deep with people relating to healing themselves. So this is at the core of every program. Is the trauma healing. The premise behind that is being that we are community organizers. We're going to be going out in the community and we want people to be healed and healthy, physically, emotionally, and mentally. A lot of people walking around with traumas that they don't even know they have. So we have a therapist for one of our support groups that meets with us every month. This therapist, y'all, gave us a packet of what traumas are, right? And here I am at 45 years old, scrolling through a packet. And I'm like, wait a minute, I got this trauma. Not only one, y'all, not 2, 3, 4, 5. I had hella trauma. And I'm like, damn, that's a trauma? I seen everything in there from a dog bite to sex abuse and everything in between, right? And then I also learned that it not only doesn't happen when you're a child, because what happens when you're a child, something traumatic like that, it shows up when you're an adult and how you present yourself in the world, right? Anywhere from, you guys ever met anyone with social anxiety or, abandonment issues, all that stuff stems from stuff. And then it can happen when you're a teenager. It can happen when you're an adult. It could be happening right now. And some people don't even recognize it. And there's all types of traumas, economic, physical, mental, verbal, and a lot of us don't know. So the first thing is to recognize and know what it is. And then we're gonna give you, hopefully, the skills to learn how to start addressing them and try to heal from it. All this while you're getting all the histories of, social justice movements and everything like that. The Haitian Revolution, Mexican Revolution, the, in America, the civil rights movement and all that. Incarceration movement, exposing knowledge, the history of movements, staying alive and free. So staying alive and free is actually the curriculum that we use. That is from Dr. Marshall from San Francisco. Shout out San Francisco. That is from Dr. Marshall. If you're from the Bay Area, you know who Dr. Marshall is. If you ever heard 106 KML, Street Soldiers, you're on your air Sunday night, that's Dr. Marshall. So he's the original Street Soldier, renowned author, and he came up with this curriculum. And myself and the organizers went down to San Francisco and shared a beautiful 4 days with Dr. Marshall and got certified on the Alive and Training curriculum to then be able to facilitate and pass on his knowledge and his teachings to our community. Getting out and staying out, personal transformation, workforce development, and frontliners. So this is a job. Yeah, you're gonna get paid. I'm a graduate from this, so I'm very from this program. I'm very biased when it comes to it. It did transform and change my life. It will help you get over the hump. It is a paycheck. You're not gonna get rich. We are a nonprofit, but it's life changing. When I was going through this, I was offered like my dream job before, and I'm like, oh damn. I'm thinking about leaving, safe return. But then I had to ask myself, like, man, do I want to really keep going through life with all these traumas? Because if I get hard over there, it's going to be a better effect till I snap. So somebody taps into that trauma and I snap. I said, let me stay right here. So once I finished this program, I've never been fired. I was notorious for getting fired from work for snapping on people and all that. Having quit in a fit of rage, it's a whole different experience. So I think this very effortlessly transferred to the student life. And that's why I am so excited for students to sign up for this program, because I've seen personally how it can support them and guide them through all the way to graduation, including myself. I graduated this summer, like I said, from CCSF. So next slide. Richard Boyd Fellowship.
My name is Ed Singleton. I'm part of the 2023-2024 Richard Boyd Fellowship graduation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tiani Johnson. I'm part of the Richard Boyd Fellowship, the 23-24 graduation class.
Describe it as a great opportunity, not only to better my lifestyle, but I feel like to gather my lifestyle together and keep it on the right track. Richard Boyd Fellowship definitely helped me put my life into perspective and definitely helped me to give me more ideas on what I want to do as far as my career.
Honestly, for me, the experience was good. I mean, I got to learn some things I never thought I'd even imagine learning. Stuff that they didn't even teach me in high school or in school period. So I say it's great overall. See everything, because when I first got into the program, I honestly thought I was going to end up quitting and then just end up stopping. But after, talking to everybody like Antoine and Dave, and even Tamisha and Shay and everybody, they actually got me to like change my ways. And then they changed my whole way of just thinking.
One of my goals before I came to the fellowship was to be a more organized person and to be less of a procrastinator. And I feel like that's something that really helped me do. Now I'm more of a guy that likes to plan things ahead. So it definitely helped me put my life in perspective and organize my thoughts better and organize my daily plans better.
Well, Honestly necessary because I'm only 23 years old and, you know, I've been arrested a few times. I've been to juvenile hall. I've been shot in my shoulder when I was 16 and, you know, I stayed with my grandma and it was just trauma all through her life and my life. So I just feel like I just needed a change and everything.
I think that it was just necessary just to self-reflect and just to learn a lot more of my strengths, and not only my strengths, but to learn my weaknesses and to learn what I need to do better at, and not only as a in life, but just as a person.
I'm going to help with the youth. I've been talking to Pedro and my boy Aaron, trying to get into the juvenile centers and try to go in there and talk and like just, you know, teach them some stuff, show them the way and what not to do and what to do, you know, how to stay out of trouble and stuff like that. But, you know, I've been impacted by the system a lot.
Well, my plans to help Richard Boyd Fellowship and to help the whole Safe Return is just to spread the word, you know, spread the word about our nonprofit and the good things that we're doing there. I feel like it's just so much work to be done as far as especially kids in my age bracket. I feel like the young adults should not learn, but they should know about the resources that we have at Safe Return. It's definitely something that's really needed. And it's definitely a resource that people can use. And I feel like that a lot more people around my age should know about it.
It's just overall, it's just good people around you, surrounding yourself in a good, healthy environment and letting yourself just grow and actually wanting to learn how to grow. Like, you can't just be stuck in your ways forever.
Definitely building relationships, you know, meeting a lot of new people that I never would have met if I didn't join the fellowship. It was definitely good to meet new people and, you know, just be around different personalities and learn from everybody. Like I said, you know, it was definitely a very great experience. And I definitely recommend it to anybody.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The first young man, Ed, he graduated from the fellowship, and while he was doing this, he was also supported through his real estate license process. So he was taking his education in real estate, and I believe he took some classes at CCC as well related to real estate. And then he took his test and he got his real estate license. He is now practicing. He has his own business doing real estate. The second young man is, I'm sorry to put it out there. He is the football star that is playing at in Arizona right now. So shout out to them. I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of them. I keep in touch with them. Yeah. I'm still to visit Ed's church because he keeps inviting me. And Tiani sends me his highlight reels every week. He's raw, y'all. We looking out for him. He's raw. So let's do the next. Collective Impact Institute. So this is gonna be like a shorter version of some of the things you'll get in the Richard Boyd Fellowship. And this is open to anyone. You do have to apply when the link opens up, and I'll leave all the information for you guys to be able to do that. And this is online on Zoom, 2 hours, 2 days a week. This is focuses more a lot on political stuff. So knowing your local elected officials, you know, a lot of people just worry about, you know, president, you know, vice president, and all that. But what about our local, which is more important to us, that, you know, they literally have the say so on what happens on our day to day, right? So who is your local officials? Who is the city council members? Who is the what's those people that control the budget for the county? I'm trying to blank y'all, but no, the Board of Supervisors. Yeah, the Board of Supervisors. And so on and so forth, right? So I ask some people sometimes, you know who the mayor of Richmond is? And they can't even answer that. So if you can't answer that right now, go to Collective Impact. We're gonna tell you who it is. We're gonna tell you who all those people are. How to start a bill, a law, you know, all bills, you know, remember the little film from back in the day of school? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. See, all the educators immediately knew. It's school. So, yeah, so it starts from an idea. Any one of us can have an idea and make literally a change, make a law or ordinance out of it, you know? So we'll teach you how to do that. Come to Collective Impact. This isn't paid, this is volunteer, it's for personal growth and knowledge. I have educators. I've had students and educators from what's the school in Berkeley? UC Berkeley. Yeah, UC Berkeley. And just regular community members that just wanna just more knowledge and to be able to, they want to do something, they want to get active. You know, a lot of people are like, man, I don't like this current political climate, man, I don't like this, I don't like how they're doing this on the street. I don't like, well, what can I do? They found a way to do something about it. First of all, it's tapping in with us. Even if it's not with us, tap in with, you know, with some support system or organization that does this kind of stuff. There is 4 community members that joined. There is like a, what do we call it in the money? Is it stipend? Honorarium. Honorarium. It's a 15 weeks. So after 15 weeks, there is like a honorarium, and then I think it goes based on the amount of attendees. So the amount varies. It could be small or large. I guess right now no amount is small because we're man, we need it right now. So anyways, next. What's covered? Life skills, healing, always healing. You're always I'm sorry. One person, I'm not gonna say who, but before they were staff, they were a fellow, and I was facilitating. And they told me, Marvin, how much therapy do we need? Trauma healing this, trauma healing this, we got therapy here. I was like, how much do you feel that you need? I'll see you tomorrow, Marvin. Okay. So it's always at the core of what we do. Of course, political education and media to build mass movement. A lot of young people like this because they already are familiar with it, but like just to encourage them how to use it to reach a broader audience and to make movement. Like I said, all the skills from here, yeah, the 1-year fellowship, the Collective Impact is about learning community organizing and all this and everything that goes with community organizing, but it's transferable to other areas, other kind of work. Like Ed, he used what he learned in the political, you know, the media movement to spread word about his own business, you know. As you heard from Tiani, he uses it in his academic, you know, walk. So it's very transferable just because this is geared towards organizing and we're organizers, and definitely because we're formerly incarcerated, it doesn't mean that you can't learn something from us that's very powerful and apply to any area in your life. We have partners of people that come like, man, thank you guys. I don't know what, but man, they're a lot better partners now. You know, they listen, and, you know, and all that. So I'm just saying, next. I'm just saying, y'all. Coworkers are like, man, what a much better coworker I have now. So I'm just saying, y'all might have some coworkers that have a little trauma. Send them to say return. Let's play that video. So this is Shagufa Khan. This is y'all when we did a action. We actually protested. I don't know if you guys remember, but some of y'all are a little young to remember when the Antioch Police Department was doing inappropriate text message, the text scandal. And they were texting about how they were abusing Black and brown people from Antioch. They were using disparaging language, so on and so forth. Anyway, we did an action, we took it right to their house. That's us right there. And this is Shagufa Khan, who is a very powerful advocate, very well known in Contra Costa County. And she was actually a target of the officers. So let's hear a little bit of that. Oh. You know, the impact that it had on our life and this and that, and, that, video, I believe is actually on our website, so if you guys still go to safereturnpij.org, you can see all of this stuff, the reports, everything. And we'll share this after, yeah. The YJAC is the support group that I was telling you about. So YJAC includes like mentorship, which Antoine and other organizers are mentors to young people and stuff like that, and also includes the support groups that we have. So we do the next slide. Trying to go quick because so what we focus on, especially in the support groups, is socially and academic success, leadership development, life skills, young people impacted by incarceration and community based violence. A lot of times, we've been the victims of violence in our communities. A lot of times we're the ones involved in violence, but it's what we had to do to survive at the time. You know, I know it's easy for people to sit, you know, or stand on their, you know, and judge people and say, well, you know, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I do. But you know what? Everyone's different, and trauma affects people in different ways. I got an uncle that's close in age to me. He's square as they come. He's never been to prison and all that, but guess what? He's from the same war-torn country. We were born into the same civil war in El Salvador. And I was able to, you know, act out and go to prison and all that and learn and try to heal. He still has a lot of wounds in his heart that he can't even come to terms with. You know, he has so much resentment, he can't even speak to some of his family members. So don't tell me just because, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Well, you know what? You're showing your trauma in other places. The way you treat your family, the way you treat your community members, the way you treat your society. You know, your trauma is showing. So we focus on that, and I have everywhere from unhoused conforms to this group. I have high school students, I have college students, I have people that have been in jail, I have people that haven't been in jail. I got OGs that did 30 years plus in prison. Everyone, and after every meeting, we meet every Wednesday from 4 to 5 at 1011 McDonald. Anybody's, it's open, there's food, catered food, and anybody's welcome to come. After every session, I tell them, look around. And that applies right here too. Look around you. You see these people? This is our community. This is us. Look around. We're represented in a very small way, but this is our community. This is who compromises our community, who makes up our community. So we have everyone there. I had a little pushback from the younger crowd when my unhoused started to join the group, and they were like, Mark, man, you know, we're this, we're that, and you know, and I said, well, check this out, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now, I will speak to them, but I'm gonna tell you right now, not everybody has the same privileges. You got to think, not everybody has the privilege of going home and taking a shower, eating a meal. Those small privileges that we take for granted, and that we got to check. And you know what? It was a learning moment. Now, instead of doing all this and all that, they come and hug my boy, man. They dab him up and everything. He's part of the community. We're not going to leave him behind. So, fighting against toward family, staying love and free, and violence prevention. That's what we focus on. Next one. So LAT&X, that's an acronym. You see how we spell it? Kind of like AT&T a little bit. Learning to acknowledge trauma and etc. I know that's like a slang way of spelling etc. because that's how the young people came up with it. It used to be because of funders and people that donate, and they're like, well, we want, you know, to reach out to the North Richmond Hispanic community. So, you know, LAT&X, and then there was pushback with that word, and people were like, well, I'm not part of it. One dude told me, I'm not gonna go because you named the group LAT&X, and I'm not LAT&X. And I said, well, that's the name of it, just come through. And then it grew from the 3 young Hispanics from North Richmond to their friends, and their friends, and their friends, and then it was co-ed. And then I said, look around, our community is diverse. So the group They came up with it. They decided they wanted to keep the name because it rolls off the tongue, but they made it, they flipped it. And they made it their own, and we're proud of that name. And we keep him engaged. This is Jose Cordon, another advocate, very well known in Contra Costa County. He's he's done his poetry at the White House, everywhere. This guy is like super duper well known, and we bring in poets. So when I first told the group, hey, we're bringing in a poet, shout out to my executive director, organizing director. And our executive director, by the way, is Tamisha Walker, just if anybody knows that. She is the city council member and vice mayor for Antioch. 5 more minutes and we're done. So when I told them, hey, I'm bringing in a poet, they were like, what, Mark? Hell no, I ain't with that poet. When they heard this dude, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that was cool, Marv. I see what you were saying. So this is a way to keep young people engaged and motivated, right? See someone that looks like you, grew up where you grew up, had the same similar experiences as you. His poetry is literally the life of some of us. You know, can we just get a little bar? I know we got 5 minutes, just one bar, just do either or.
Or on a hospital bed, coughing. And they look at the kids, boys killing boys. And in the phrase they call people California, that's part of the game for they call stories. And when you get into the weapon, they itchy for gunplay. Don't want to really smoke some weed and go on about their day. But all it takes is the wrong word, the wrong color, or we're looking the wrong direction. And we're back to the beginning of this poem with somebody getting shot at the intersection. But if only they would take some time, instead of giving us time to understand how things came to be, maybe then we would realize general forced to be. By a society that preys on the weak, the evil will root for the sheep, and you better be a tough guy if you're out on the street, which is why a lot of guys don't smile. But at 14, 15, you know, you're just a lost child. So that poem lost.
So anyway, that's ways that we keep the youth engaged. We also do outings, retreats, and all this. We did a retreat last year for the full group, which is well over 50 participants and their plus ones to come out to Lake Tahoe, and we did our therapists come out with us. 3 days, did the trauma healing out in nature. We had the question therapy with the horses and all that. We're going to Santa Cruz this year. And a lot of the young people still remember, even the OGs still remember that a lot of the young people have never even been out of Richmond or Contra Costa before, literally. And we even taking ball games, K1 racing and all that. Just it's a way to expose them to different things because our youth, a lot of times, that's not even in the cards for them. You know, you got a single parent working 2-3 jobs, they don't got time to take you or they can't afford to take you somewhere like that. So we want to expose them to everything from poetry, different environments, trauma healing, life coaches, therapists in a way that relates to them. It's not someone telling me what to do and they ain't never been in my shoes. I'm gonna tell someone to stay out of prison. I ain't never even been to prison. So when I tell them you don't want to go to prison because I was there 10 years, who do you think I'm gonna listen to? So that's what we do, and shout out to everybody that supports us, supports our efforts, CCC. Shout out to you guys for even thinking of having us here. That's super dope. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you. The whole so we're really grateful to be here. My name is Marvin Galdamez. I'm your humble servant. Holla at me. I leave my cards right there, my information. I'm gonna leave it with Mariah. Y'all have a nice day. I'll see you next time around. And I think I'm gonna roll at CCC. I still need a couple classes to get into my undergraduate.
So I just want to close out thanking Marvin and the Safe Return Team Project for sharing the transformative work they do with us today. Hopefully you thought of some things and gotten maybe a little bit of practical strategies and things that you might be able to use here. Through the partnership with our Rising Scholars Program, we do refer students to the Safe Return Project to take advantage of those things. And of course, for those of you who don't know, the Rising Scholars Program is a program where we offer courses and support for our students that are in the facilities in Contra Costa County. and also have programming here on campus to support students that have been formerly incarcerated or systems impacted with their success here as well. So I'll be following up with everyone with the resources that have been shared around today's session. Reach out if you have questions about implementing approaches in your work with your students. Thank you to everyone for the engagement and commitment to creating inclusive, healing-centered learning environments. And thank you again to Marvin and the Safe Return Project for sharing your expertise with our community.
Thank you. All right. Oh. Okay. I mean, you right here was like, I just kept trying to keep focused on it.